I still think it's better to think about it in religious terms rather than spiritual terms because of the moral dimension of it. That's how I really got to know Mark McCloud, who is the owner and the collector of this extraordinary archive that lies behind my book, Blotter. Since the early 2000s, I was giving talks in like psychedelic conferences back when they were underground. People didn't know and cared about them except if you were a weirdo intellectual who liked these things. And they were really great. It was a wonderful space. And so there was a lot of characters and crazies and poets and nerds. And it was all sorts of characters who were drawn to these things. And I knew him loosely in that situation. We united in the concerted effort that a number of people underwent to prevent a person that I will leave unnamed, although I could name him, who wanted to be part of the psychedelic intelligentsia and who was a well-placed Ivy League professor with very important friends. And Mark McCloud had a particular beef with him because he was a snitch. And when he got heat, even though he was a member of the elite, he caved and he not only ratted on people, but he actually tried to set up people who didn't even deserve what they were getting. And meanwhile, me and a fellow named John Hanna wrote up a very hilarious and sarcastic account of this man trying to besmirch him for our underground. It was something for this sort of psychedelic intelligentsia. So Mark read that and then we bonded because we had this kind of sense of a shared ethics around something. And that's where we clicked. And from ever since then, we were really good friends. You need to trust someone like me to come in and sit with you for months and months, hearing these tales that are proximate to a lot of crime, including people who are still alive. And so you got to be careful about what you say and don't say. My ability to kind of recognize that value and to support and affirm that value is partly how I was able to be in the position to be able to write this kind of book coming from the kind of background I have, which is more elite education, but then being able to have this kind of link that enabled that trust to bring me into the story.